In this video, we'll be taking a look at some of the basic tools in SketchUp that you will be using in this project. So if you take a look at this, the right hand side of your screen, you see a bunch of tools that you can use. If you don't see this particular toolbar, which is called the large tool set, all you need to do is move your mouse cursor on the top toolbar and right click and say click on the large tool set. And your interface might be a little bit different from what you see in my screen, but it's essentially going to be the same when you start working with these particular tools. So we'll be, for the most part, we'll be using this large tool set, the tools in the large tool set. When you look at the large tool set, there are some familiar looking icons. Now these are very basic tools that you use. The first one, it looks like a pencil, and as you would imagine, it does the same thing as a pencil. So if you click on it, you can just start drawing lines as you would with a regular pencil. And also you might be seeing here, it says top view, right? And I'm drawing on the top view right now, and your screen might be configured in a different way. You might not be in your top view, and that's okay for now. We'll go into detail on how to change your views in a bit, but I just want to go through some of the tools that we have here. So we have this freehand tool, and as you might imagine, what it does is you can draw freehand, very organic shapes using that particular tool, right? Then you have a bunch of familiar looking shapes, rectangles, and as you might imagine, it draws rectangles, right? Same with the circle. You click, you drag, and it draws a circle, right? We'll get into detail on how to draw precise drawings or provide precise measurements for these shapes that we're drawing, but for now let's just have some fun taking a look at what we can do with these shapes. You have additional tools like arcs, and as you would imagine, you click once, you click twice, and then you can give an angle and you can draw an arc. So try these tools out. They function as they would appear to function, and that's basically it. And you have a bunch of tools here as well, like the eraser tool. As you might imagine, it erases things. You have a paint bucket tool, which we'll get into a little bit later, where we're going to use it to add materials using the paint bucket tool. And underneath we have additional tools here, which we need to change the viewport here in order to see how these particular tools work. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to change my view from the top view to a different view, and in order to do so, I need to enable another toolbar. To do that, I'm going to go here, right click, and say views. Click on the views section, and it opens up another toolbar right here. So clicking on these icons, it will take you to different views on your SketchUp model, right? If you click on this particular tool here, it takes you to an isometric view. If you click on this small icon here, it shows you the top view. If you go here, it shows you the front view, the right view, the back view, and the left view. Right now we don't have any three-dimensional geometry, so you're not seeing any of the elevations. So let's take a look at the isometric view. Now this is the isometric view, and right now everything looks flat. But what we can do is we can create 3D geometry from the shapes that we just drew, right? All you need to do is go into this large tool set, and there is a tool called the push-pull tool, right? So click on that, and when you move your tool on top of a surface that you've already drawn, like this one here, it turns into a matrix of dots, right? You just click and drag it up, and you get a 3D object. You can do the same thing with the other elements as well. So click, drag, drag, and click, drag, and click, drag, and click. That way you get all these three-dimensional geometry from the 2D shapes that you just drew. Now, what if you wanted to take a look at this model from a different angle? All you need to do is, if you have a mouse, I would highly recommend that you buy a mouse or find a mouse which has a scroll wheel. You click on the scroll wheel and it turns into this orbiting tool, and then you just drag. You can also do this by going here. There is a tool called the orbit tool. You click it and then your tool becomes orbit tool. That way you can change the view and see your model from different sides. Also, if you wanted to, what you can do is you can zoom in by using the scroll wheel of your mouse. You scroll in, you scroll out. You can do the same thing here by using the zoom tool. So you can zoom in and zoom out, right? You can also use the pan tool to pan around, and orbit. You can use those together, right? Those are some of the basic things that you can do with SketchUp in order to draw your geometry. There are some additional tools here that you're seeing. So the move tool, as you might have imagined, what it does, it moves things. So in order to move things, you need to first select an object. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to use my select tool, and I'm going to select, let's say, this object here. In order to select it, I don't even have to draw. I can, if I wanted to, I can draw a window by dragging a window like that. So it gets selected. Another way to do this is by triple clicking on that object. So 1, 2, 3, and it's selected. So once that's selected, I can use my move tool and move things around. So what you do is you triple click it. That means 1, 2, 3, and then you use a move tool and move it around. You can use the rotate tool to do the same thing, to rotate the object. So click once and just rotate it. You can use the scale tool in a similar way, and then scale your object up and down. So those are some of the basic functions that you need to know in order for us to continue with our project. With that, we'll move into actually creating the geometry for the small dome room in the next video.